The one and only Cris Carter. What's going on, big time? How are you?
All good, bro. If you know I'm coming on the show every Monday, man, how can you start your shows and talk about your shows and not talk about the purple and what they're doing? Now I know
Why should I?
it's been
Why should I?
oh, okay, that's the kind of attitude we're gonna have. Okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, because you forgetting who your quarterback is. We talk about Sam Darnold, okay? You can bring up what we seen over the first 3 games. You giving me 3 games, I could give you 6 years of ineptitude on his part before these 3 games.
Right.
What's the issue?
Now I give you that, but I also have seen you through the years change your stripes. I saw you get on the Geno Smith bandwagon after the way he was barraged about his career early. So I do know that you believe that quarterbacks can make a comeback, and especially coaches like we have in Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell, who is doing a great job with the quarterbacks. And also, I've heard you talk about Baker Mayfield, him getting a new life there in Tampa Bay. Neither one of them have the roster that Minnesota has. Neither one of them have the offensive personnel that Minnesota has. So if you're gonna continue to believe in those quarterbacks, you got to give our guys some credit.
I feel you on that. All right, give him a little credit. I'll give him a little bit of credit, but you're going to bring up Geno Smith. I said something to him after he made the playoffs. You're going to bring me up Baker Mayfield. I said something about after he beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs and then showed up years later in Tampa, and he got them in the playoffs. They beat the Eagles last year in the playoffs, okay? You giving me Sam Darnold 3 games. Here's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold ranked dead last in both completion percentage and passer rating in the NFL from 2018 to 2023 among 39 quarterbacks with at least 1,000 plus pass attempts. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, what I'm seeing right now, I ain't gonna front. I like him. And I know Justin Jefferson is that dude. Once Addison comes back, they're gonna be even more Hawkinson as well. I get all of that. But why should we be convinced? Why should we be convinced that what we're seeing from the Minnesota Vikings, who, by the way, we even talking about to lead off the show because they ramrodded Houston yesterday. They were all over C.J. Stroud and those boys. But why should we look at Sam Darnold and believe that what was taking place the previous 5 or 6 years ain't going to suddenly reoccur?
Right. Let's just say you ignore all the personnel. You ignore the offensive head coach that we have in KO. And then now you're going to ignore the defense with Brian Flores. That only conversation we have about him was, did he affect Tua's career in the negative? Now, we could argue that on a couple other shows, but he has a top 5 defense without top 5 personnel. So what they're doing defensively, the amount of confusion that they have put on 3 straight weeks, the New York Giants, totally confused in week number 1. Josh Purdy, Super Bowl quarterback, totally confused in week number 2. And everyone's favorite, my Buckeye, C.J. Stroud, a straight stud, confused, didn't score until late in the 3rd quarter. So it's just not about Sam Darnold. This is about complementary football. And without a Pro Bowl tight end and without another all-star wide receiver that are out, the Vikings are only going to get better as the season goes on.
But you see how you slick? How you gonna mention San Francisco and don't bring up the fact that Christian McCaffrey's out? Okay, Deebo Samuel got hurt. I mean, they got some of their weapons ain't there. You just gonna bring up San Francisco like that, right?
Right, absolutely. San Francisco lost again. San Francisco's having problems. The Vikings exposed them. The Rams took advantage of that. Injuries are part of the game. Like everyone's doing. The Vikings got their own injuries and everything. Now, the next 2 weeks, okay, they go to Green Bay, and then myself and Randy Moss, we're going to be traveling with the Vikings to London when they play that bad man in London.
That's right.
So the next 2 weeks will prove a lot as far as getting people on the bandwagon as far as who the Vikings really are.
Yeah, I want to see what Sam Darnold going to do against his former teams in that Jets defense. That's what I see.